Good morning, Dan and Amy. We'll get to Sharp Dressed Man, Bret Baier, in just a moment. But Tim Kaine went on The View yesterday, his safe space, and he was actually asked a question about the Podesta emails, shockingly enough. And listen to this response from Tim Kaine.
First thing on WikiLeaks, I mean, the FBI and the Director of National Intelligence has said this is hacking that Russians are behind it. The Russian government is behind it. So anybody that would hack to try to destabilize an election, you can't automatically assume that everything in all of these documents are even real.
Yeah, I mean, there's no follow-up on The View because, it's The View. But, okay.
But nobody's asserting that in Hillary's campaign except for Tim Kaine.
Yeah, tell us what's not real.
Yeah.
Tell us specifically of the 6,000-odd emails that have been dumped by WikiLeaks so far. Tell us what issues are not real, whose statements were not real. Tell us what's been fabricated, Tim Kaine. Or is this, what they're doing, of course, is just to try and raise doubt. It's about process. It's not about the substance of the contents of the emails. Maybe they're not real. Maybe this is an imaginary world we're all living in. Tim Kaine, and by the way, he wasn't also asked if Tim Kaine, a good Catholic. What do you think about, let's assume just for the sake of discussion, Senator, that the contents of the emails are accurate. What about all that anti-Catholic back and forth between John Podesta and other aides to camp for Hillary? What's your view on that? Why isn't anybody being asked that of these good Catholics on the Democrat side? It's curious to me. Well, for more on this matter of the Podesta emails and so much else, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend Bret Baier, of course, the host of Special Report Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. Chicago time. And it's like all Bret Baier all the time on Fox over there now, hosting Fox News Sunday this week for Chris Wallace, who is doing debate prep. Hey, something Donald Trump may want to do.
Yeah.
And then also he's got, of course, his Fox Special Report show that is airing Sundays at 7 p.m. Chicago time for the election as well. Bret, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Believe it or not, I'm anchoring for O'Reilly tonight at 8 o'clock.
It's wall-to-wall Bret Baier. It's good
It's
stuff.
a great day.
The election cannot come fast enough.
I am sure. I think a lot of people feel that way. So let's start with Hillary email, since everybody else wants to, in the kind of D.C. Beltway media, wants to obsess about the Donald Trump allegations, the allegations against Donald Trump. Let's start with the Podesta emails. And do these emails, I know you're not supposed to make conclusions as a journalist, just kind of present the evidence and ask the questions, but I read most of these emails and accounts of these emails, and I'm left to borrow from the immortal words of Dennis Green, that the left is who we thought they were.
Yeah, some of the emails are disturbing. Some of them are embarrassing. The ones that are really interesting, I think, are the ones with the handling of the email server. And while the Clinton campaign and Hillary Clinton is under a subpoena from Congress, aides are trying to figure out what exactly they're going to turn over, how they're going to talk about it, and what the process is. Meanwhile, a few weeks later, the server gets erased by this process called BleachBit that essentially takes out all the possible emails. You take that's substantively, and you put it up against the answer that Hillary Clinton gave to Judicial Watch under oath last night that said that she didn't know how the server was erased and the process by which the emails were erased. The whole thing is really messy, and you suddenly realize when you see all of these other parts how much the FBI perhaps left on the table.
But why aren't the American people interested in this? Why do they care more about Donald Trump's lewd comments toward women, some that happened 30-plus years ago, and they're not focusing at all on the emails? Why isn't this catching on, do you think?
Well, there's only a few places that are covering it extensively. Listen, NPR covers this story by saying, new Russia propaganda out today. So
really,
I'm dead serious. That is how it is framed.
Oh my goodness!
So it's like when they in Star Wars when they give these are not the drones you're looking for. It's kind of like waving continue to dig into it. We're going to continue to ask questions about it, and you know, you make a decision whether it's important or not. You know, it's cheesy, but you report, I report, you decide. It's real, and I think that people are not reporting.
Well, right, and you know, some of the emails that you say are embarrassing. Robbie Mook calling de Blasio a terrorist and those sorts of things. But the real substantive issues in terms of thinking about the future of our country and the importance of things, I don't know, like the rule of law, the extra, and you were getting to it with the server. That's another good, and the FBI and criminal investigation, and that's a good place to start. But the extra legal, and as your colleague Catherine Herridge, who we had on the show to talk about this, said, unprofessional, and what was the other word she used? Inappropriate, unprofessional, and inappropriate contact between Department of Justice and the Clinton campaign, between the department, the State Department, with respect to the release of the emails and the timing of these emails and the Clinton campaign. I mean, those are real issues of melding the law to the will of the Clinton campaign, politicizing the law.
Yeah. I think those are really serious, and there's evidence of that in the emails. I think the Clinton Foundation quid pro quo is really serious, and despite all of the denials by Clinton aides and Hillary Clinton that there's any connection between her time at State and what was transpiring at the Clinton Foundation and the money they were getting, there are multiple examples in these emails of something like that happening. I mean, Qatar offering $1 million for Bill Clinton's birthday to get 5 minutes with the former president. The Colombians and the interaction of different companies there, you know, what they get for their money, and conversations like that. And then the Haiti part, where there are clearly companies that have donated to the Clinton Foundation that are put on the top of the list of the State Department's efforts to help in Haiti. I think there are more and more examples as you comb through these emails that suggest that the storyline is completely different than what has been told by the Clinton campaign.
And also, I mean, really, since the left likes to throw around the word bigot, the anti-Catholic bigotry contained in those email exchanges. Bill Donahue, the president of the Catholic League, has called on Podesta to resign as campaign chairman or be removed as campaign chairman for Hillary Clinton. You had the Archbishop of Philadelphia denounce the contents of those emails as it pertains to Catholicism and trying to infiltrate the church and talking about the church being dictatorial and so forth. I mean, those are those would be serious matters if there was a target other than conservative Catholics, I suppose.
Yeah, and Tucker Carlson made a great point the other day on my panel, which was, you know, if this had been a Republican and this had been the religion of Islam, there would be press conferences around the country about, you know, the outrage. I agree. It is a big deal. I mean, there are other really embarrassing phrases and denigrating phrases. There's a call of Governor Bill Richardson as a needy Latino.
Yeah, right.
There's all kinds of stuff in here. Now, you have to confront, and they have not been willing to say that any of them are not authentic. They say they're not going to authenticate any of them. The closest anybody got was Jen Paul Mary saying, that didn't look familiar to me. Well,
yes, Clintonian denial. Yes.
Yeah. Right. So Donald Trump, obviously, he's in it a little bit because of all these women that have come forward. I think 6 or 7 total now that are accusing him of, you know, groping to just kissing them on the lips. How has Fox News handled this, and have you gone after to seek to interview any of these women?
Yes, and we have requests in for numerous women. We have obviously followed their portrayals of these incidents as they've laid them out in other news organizations, and covered that. And, you know, these are serious allegations. And the problem for Donald Trump is that compounded on it is the video from 2005 in which he's talking about doing this. So it's visceral for some, and it's easy to link the two. And there was a cascade of allegations after that debate where he said he didn't do those things. You know, it's a major problem Now, it has to be vetted. You just can't just throw it out there. And he claims that he has evidence that it's not true, and we'll see. We'll cover it all.
All right, he's Bret Baier. Bret, we have to get on to important debates beyond the presidential, like Colin Kaepernick versus Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Bret, he is hosting Fox News Sunday this week for Chris Wallace, doing debate prep. He's hosting O'Reilly tonight, we just found out. He still hosts the special report at 5 p.m. He's hosting the election special report at Sunday at 7 p.m. All Bret Baier all the time until November 8th.
I'm going to have a cup of coffee right now.
All right, Bret, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.